Varna, the maritime capital of Bulgaria, is a true jewel today. Modern, vibrant, and welcoming. A city of youth, of carefree summers, and a salty breeze carrying the echo of 1,000 toasts. But beneath this brilliant sun-drenched facade, does a mysterious, unexpectedly rich millennial history lie hidden? Is it possible that behind the smiles of Varna's people pulses the spirit of Europe's oldest golden civilization? Gradually, we leave the noise of the modern city and descend the spiral of time. Centuries vanish one by one as we fly further back. Further back. Further back. And further back. And then, like a mystic vision, a culture emerges before us, so advanced and wealthy that it challenges everything we have learned about the dawn of humanity. This is the true golden beginning of Europe, hidden beneath the layers of time, here in Varna. What are the secrets of the world's first golden civilization? And how did one discovery alter the course of global archaeology, proving that here, near Varna, a culture flourished, predating Mesopotamia and Egypt by a millennium? On an ordinary workday in Varna's western industrial zone, a legendary excavator tears the earth, unaware that eternity sleeps beneath. Raiko Marinov's find is the first proof of the Varna Chalcolithic necropolis. To scientists, it is the missing link, evidence of the first complex social hierarchy and the birth of the institution of power. Ten millennia ago, the end of the last ice age radically reshaped the world map. While Mesolithic tribes near the Varna lakes still battle nature as hunters, global warming triggers unprecedented progress in the Fertile Crescent. Here, agriculture is born. The first grains and livestock are tamed, leading to a demographic boom and the creation of permanent settlements. But by 7000 BC, changing climates and droughts in the Near East force these early farmers to migrate northwest. Asia Minor becomes their refuge for 1,000 years, a time when knowledge and skills previously unknown are born. A millennium later, these accumulated migratory masses set out across the Bosphorus toward the Balkans. They carry the Neolithic package, technologies that will rewrite Europe's history and lay the foundations of the first golden civilization. At the start of the 7th millennium BC, Neolithic centers in central and western Anatolia reached their limit. Archaeological data suggests that a mix of overpopulation, soil depletion, and a sharp shift in the hydrological cycle forces entire clans to seek new ecological niches. The roofs of great proto-cities, once the center of the world, become too narrow for the dreams of new generations. This migration from Asia Minor to the Balkans is not a single act, but a complex demographic process lasting centuries. The migration spans a front over 800 kilometers, crossing the Aegean and the Bosphorus. This dispersal model is known as the wave front. People move short distances, settle for a generation or two, and when resources dwindle, they push forward. Genetic data confirms these people carry a specific DNA marker that in less than a millennium replaces over 80% of the genetic pool of local Balkan hunter-gatherers, imposing a new model of existence. Genetic archaeologists' models show settlers moving at a rate of 25 to 40 kilometers per generation. This pace allows each group to occupy about 1,000 square kilometers of new territory before resources fail and the next generation moves on. In the mid-6th millennium BC, Mediterranean levels rise and salt waters pour into the freshwater Black Sea. Whether the event was a single catastrophic act or a multi-year gradual change remains a matter of scientific debate. But for the ancient people en route to the Balkans, another challenge emerged. Crossing water barriers like the Bosphorus and Dardanelles required primitive yet functional vessels. These dugout canoes, carved from massive oak trunks, carried not only people, but the genetic reserve of the New Age, einkorn seeds, barley, and the first domesticated livestock. Toward the end of the 6th millennium BC, small scouting parties reached the northern parts of today's Bulgarian coast. Here, around the Varna and Beloslav lakes, they find a unique microclimate and abundant fresh water. These first settlers are not random discoverers, but heirs to a millennium farming tradition. They do not yet suspect they have found the place where salt and gold will give birth to Europe's first state structure. The camp falls silent, awaiting the first dawn in their new home. The first morning by the Varna lakes reveals an ecosystem of inexhaustible capacity. Paleoecological studies confirm that lake levels were lower then, and the waters were fresh and teeming with life. The main protein source for these communities becomes lake fishing, and the crafting of the first complex traps, woven fish nets, allows for passive harvesting in industrial quantities. One such device could provide food for dozens of people in just a few hours. The true architectural triumph, however, is the construction of the pile-dwelling settlements. The choice to build in water was deliberate. It provided natural protection from predators and hostile groups, easy access to transport arteries, and superior hygiene. Analysis of the lakebed reveals over 15 large settlements strategically located along the ancient shoreline. The pile-dwelling system in the Varna Liman from 6,000 years ago is one of the most complex architectural feats in European prehistory. The wooden piles driven into the lake floor were oak, impregnated by charring for waterproofing and decay protection. Massive stone pulleys and heavy hammers were used to drive thousands of piles to a depth of 3 meters into the lake silt. Each platform had to support a load of several tons, including heavy clay ovens and stored goods. When building rough floors and paths, instead of cutting the wood, ancient masters split it. They used wedges of bone or hardwood, driven by heavy stone hammers along the grain of the wood fibers. Inside the houses, however, the floor was a surprisingly complex example of composite construction. A grid of hazel rods was woven over the load-bearing structure, serving as reinforcement for a thick plaster of a special clay mixture. This warm floor provided perfect insulation from damp lake vapors. The functionality of these homes is most impressive. The water beneath the platforms served as natural sewage, washing away waste, which paradoxically for its time improved hygiene inside the homes compared to earth dwellings, protecting people from disease. The living area of about 40 square meters included specialized floor openings, allowing direct access to water for fishing and domestic needs. This created a closed ecosystem that minimized the need to leave the protected village. The lake city was simultaneously a fortress, a warehouse for white gold, and a home that breathed with the lake. The new people clear coastal forests to make room for farming. Archaeobotanical analyses show the first varieties of einkorn and emmer wheat were sown here, resistant to the local climate. The productivity of these soils was about 30% higher than in Anatolia, leading to a nutritional surplus. The flint sickles of the Varna culture contributed most to this surplus. They were high-tech composite tools made of a curved deer antler handle with a series of small, razor-sharp flint blades inset. These blades were glued with bioadhesive made of birch resin and beeswax, allowing for the replacement of a single broken tooth rather than the entire tool. The most stunning detail is the sickle gloss, a specific mirror-like sheen on the edge caused by millions of frictions against einkorn stalks, literally polishing the stone at a molecular level. High-quality waxy flint from Ludogorets was so valuable it traveled hundreds of kilometers as a strategic commodity, equal in importance to salt and copper. The sight of the first golden wheat swaying in the sea breeze is the greatest triumph for the people of Neolithic Varna. Conversely, grinding grain was one of the most labor-intensive daily rituals performed on massive stone querns, where hard einkorn kernels became fine flour. The constant rubbing of stone on stone generated a specific rhythmic sound that became the true heartbeat of the prehistoric home. The Varna culture diet was based on strict economic logic. Archaeobotanical samples show 60 to 70% of daily calories came from ancient wheat, einkorn, and barley. These grains had 15% more protein than modern hybrids, providing stamina for heavy labor. The heart of each home was the domed oven, built of clay with walls up to 20 centimeters thick, designed to maintain heat for hours. Here, bread was not fluffy. The lack of yeast required flat, dense cakes that served as edible plates and lasted for weeks after drying. Grain was also processed into liquid bread, thick fermented drinks low in alcohol, a key source of B vitamins, critical in a world without citrus. Small, flat cakes, hard as stone, gave traders the strength to row for hundreds of kilometers. From these smoking ovens come the invisible threads of power, for bread fed the masters who cast gold and the warriors who guarded salt. Varna culture was not built of metal alone. It was kneaded from flour and fire. Soon, Neolithic communities near Varna begin selective breeding, especially visible in sheep and goats. They gradually change their coat structure, evolving from hairy to woolly breeds, capable of providing wool for the first looms. In the following centuries, these quiet settlements on the shores of Lake Varna will become Europe's foundry and amass their wealth. Native copper and its properties were discovered in Asia Minor around 7000 BC, before the migration, and Neolithic communities approached metal as a new kind of stone. Through cold forging, they tried to shape metal, but quickly hit the physical limit of its crystal lattice. Under heavy pressure, it deforms and cracks. Microcracks lead to the total destruction of valuable beads, and this limit forced early masters to experiment. People noticed that if they heated copper to about 400 degrees Celsius, it regained its plasticity. This allowed for longer owls and fishhooks, but true casting magic remained elusive. Meanwhile, open hearths were replaced by domed two-chamber ovens, allowing for much higher temperatures and better fire regulation. Through the long centuries of migration to the Balkans, ovens were gradually perfected. And on a sunny day 7,000 years ago, in such an oven near modern Stara Zagora, a stray piece of malachite fell. Malachite is a soft green mineral first used for ornaments and pigments before people found that pure metal could be extracted from it. Observing how this green stone literally cried copper tears in a fierce fire, ancient people discovered the process of reduction. To turn ore into liquid metal, however, a temperature of 1085 degrees Celsius is needed. This required an engineering evolution of the ovens. Optimizing draft through chimneys and top vents allowed precise control over airflow and toxic gas removal. Ovens grew more complex. The two-chamber structure separated fuel from the material, ensuring a cleaner environment for ore reduction and even heating. Air ducts and nozzles allowed metallurgists to direct forced oxygen into the fire's heart, critically raising combustion efficiency. Refractory clay mixed with crushed ceramics protected the oven's structure from melting at temperatures above 1100 degrees Celsius. The bellows, leather skin, was the second key invention enabling the metallurgical revolution around Varna. Through it, a concentrated flow of oxygen is injected, raising the temperature to 1200 degrees. Hear the song of the bellows, the heavy, rhythmic breath of leather breathing life into coals. The flame turns white, nearly blinding. But how do you hold the sun in a vessel without it burning? Thus, ancient metallurgists hit a new problem. Ordinary clay pots for melting copper burst at such temperatures. Varna solved this by introducing graphite technology. Graphite is a mineral of extreme heat resistance. Graphite particles in clay act as microscopic reinforcement and an excellent heat conductor. It was mined in the mountains, Sredna Gora and Rhodops, reaching Varna's booming ovens via established trade routes, and from there, the finished goods traveled north. Mixing graphite dust with fine clay allowed for crucibles that not only withstood the heat, but distributed it evenly. Graphite became a strategic resource comparable to oil today. The evolution of casting passed through two critical phases. The first was the open mold, a hollow in sandstone or clay for one-sided casting. The second, and most perfect, was the two-sided closed mold. This complex technology required a core to leave a hole for the axe handle. This is the moment copper becomes an industry. These items are no longer just tools, but commodities. This mass production of identical axe adzes and axe hammers is proof of standardization. Along with salt from Provadia, copper ingots formed the first global market mechanism, making the Balkans the economic heart of the world. Man had finally shattered the chains of the Stone Age to step into the brilliance of an industry that would change the planet forever. While the lake settlements of Varna become an economic center, their prosperity depends on an invisible artery stretching hundreds of kilometers inland. Archaeometallurgical studies point to the Ibunar region as the primary raw material source of the era. Here lie the oldest and largest mining operations in Europe, dating from the mid-5th millennium BC. In Ibunar, archaeologists found over 11 open trenches, some reaching an astonishing depth of 20 meters. Mining required massive organization. Miners used heavy stone hammers and antler levers to split hard rock and extract precious copper deposits. It is estimated that thousands of tons of ore were excavated here. Before becoming metal, malachite was raw material for high-end cosmetics and rituals. Ground to fine powder, it served for body coloring and amulets. Shamanic rituals in caves hallowed the stone, giving it divine meaning. Logistics were equally impressive. Raw material was transported as chunks or ingots along rivers. This green pulse of trade fed Varna's foundries, where the raw stone became copper weapons and prestige items at the core of Europe's first civilization. As boats glide along river bends carrying heavy loads to the lakes, we see this culture is not just glitz and gold. In the union of the miner's labor and the priest's mystic knowledge, the power that would change the Balkans forever is born near Varna. But if not copper, what is the primary cause for this ancient civilization's rise, and what driving force gilds the shores of the lakes?